And the rain was still falling. I was able to leave that place and get to church. I did not get wet that day. I did not get wet. From there it would progress. You feel like it is crawling. It will go to the door. You feel a loud bang on the door. Is this wooden door? To hit the door, go to the window, and then you feel scratches like something is trying to claw its way up. And there was this wind that passed us. The wind passed us, and the only thing that we could sense in the air was frustration. And then it blew, and then blew through the window, and then we heard footsteps.
From the Horse's Mouth is an outlet for people that have unbelievable stories. Stories that can be classified as supernatural. Today I have Richard here with me, and he has a few stories to share. Thank you for coming, Richard.
Thank you for having me.
Before we get into your stories, I would like you to tell me about your background.
Okay. My name is Richard. I am from Bayelsa State. I currently reside in Lagos. I came from a polygamous home, and as such had traditional Christian, African upbringing, and a lot of things.
You had both of them, both Christian and traditional, or no, just Christian?
I'd call it the traditional Christian, because there's a way Africans do their things, and then incorporating Christianity into that.
Can you tell us about that?
Okay. Growing up in a village, you understand, there are certain there are certain practices, certain cultures that you grow up into. Though I did not directly participate in some of them, I was told some of them, and then some of them were handed down to parents and all of that. But me personally, I didn't practice all of them, but I actually knew about them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the setting I grew up in. But my family, per se, we had more of this Christian upbringing.
Okay.
Though the stories how will I call them? They were not the easiest of stories, the kind of stories we grew up with. But that's how it was. I think that's a lot of my background. Yeah.
Okay. About your story, can you share that with us?
Okay.
Your first story.
Okay. The first story I talked about, this has to do with something with my Christian belief. Okay. Sometime in October of 2016.
October 2016.
Yes, my church had this program. It was the 21-day fasting and prayer program. You know how it is for Pentecostal churches. And I was very consistent. I was fervent. I took that particular one personal. And about 16 days into the program, because we normally go to church every day, I was about going to church that day. That was around 4 p.m. I was in the house. It was like a farmhouse, because we had to leave the town where we stayed. Me and my elder brother, we had this fish farm. So we usually stay there because we need to protect our farm, our fishes and all of that. So it was around 4. I wanted to go out to go to church, and then it started raining. And that day we had my younger brother was around, and then my elder brother's friend was around too. So around 4, when I wanted to go out, it started raining, of course. And I was deeply saddened because I didn't want to miss like that program. I wanted to really experience it that particular year. And I just remembered something from the Bible where Jesus told the storm, "Peace be still." So in the midst of conversations, I just whispered, "Peace be still," like very softly, like "Peace be still." And then I felt the rain reduce, like the speed and everything, it reduced. Then I decided to raise my voice a bit. I said, "Peace be still." At this time, the other people in the room, they could hear what I was saying. And then they felt it reduce. And then I increased my voice. I was like, "Peace be still." And it reduced again. And then a fourth time, I raised my voice, "Peace be still."
More confidently.
Yes, and it reduced. And then the fifth time, I actually screamed it. I was like, "Peace be still." And shockingly, the rain stopped in the compound.
But it was raining outside.
But it was raining outside. Like you could see it falling on other roofs. But the compound, there was no rain. And then it was very shocking because I mean that was a farm area, though there were some few houses, and my brother and the other people, they were just looking at me, and the only thing he said was that, "Now you know the kind of witchcraft when they practice." I mean, I started laughing, and the rain was still falling. I was able to leave that place and get to church. I did not get wet that day. I did not get wet. I know this this story is actually a very serious one. Me, I cannot really explain.
No.
Okay, I cannot really explain, but that is how it happened. I mean, that was in all my life, that has been the height of my faith, like the highest. In fact, when I got to church, I was so excited. I had to call my pastor to tell him that, look at what happened. So that was how that one happened. I still cannot explain how, but I just believe that that was supernatural, because I mean, yes.
So you said from the points from the house to the church, you didn't get wet.
I didn't get
so
wet.
It was still raining.
It was still raining.
So does that mean that every step you took, the rain wasn't falling in that spot as you went to church?
I don't know how to explain that, because like I said, the compound, there was no rain, because that plot was about 100 by 50. You should know how that kind of area is. So there was no rain around them. So me getting on the path where we walk is just like somewhere that only bikes can pass, maybe bikes or wheelbarrows. So me, I passed that part, and then I did not get wet. Got into tricycle, did not get wet. It was still raining until I got to church. I did not get wet.
You're completely dry?
Yes.
Wow.
So I don't know the mystery behind it. I cannot explain. But all I know is that particular day, I was eager to go to church. I was really into going to church, and I felt like the rain was sent to stop me, and I had to stop it in its track.
How did that make you feel? How did you feel? How did that make you feel to start with?
Okay. Particularly, I mean, from what I know about the scriptures, I mean, we are supposed to be able to do
these things,
greater signs. So this was, but for me, since it was my first experience and it was the first time I would be doing something like that,
it was confirmation.
I felt like, yeah, this spiritual exercise, I'm actually feeling it. Like, this is a breakthrough point for me in my spiritual journey. And I mean, I was excited because it showed that I was not just fasting in vain.
Okay. So you think the fasting was what made it possible for you to harness that power?
That's my only explanation for it, because I believe the spiritual exercise are meant to strengthen us. Whenever you decide to suffer the flesh, the spirit gets strengthened, and it is the spirit that actually makes all of these things possible. So I actually believe that it is the exercise that actually propelled my spiritual level to that extent where I could speak a word and it happened.
So, the people around you, did that change like how they viewed you? After seeing you do that?
I already said, my elder brother, he said, now you know the witchcraft where you practice.
He labeled it witchcraft.
Yes, he labeled it witchcraft. But I don't know of his friend, but within my family we know about all these things. We know how these things happen. It is nothing that is strange to us. But then he was just a pessimist. Let me call him a pessimist. That's why he said that, because he was not going to church then. It was like me, I was pretending to be serious with God.
Oh, that's how he saw it.
Yes. Okay. So probably that's why he said what he said. But
maybe I think it was hitting. What was the second experience?
Okay. It was still the same year. I think this one happened. Okay, this one happened before this rain incident. Me and my brother are still in that same farm area. Yeah. It was around 4 a.m. It was around 4 a.m. I thought I was the only one who was awake. I was awakened by a loud bang on the roof. More like somebody used mortar to hit the roof very loudly. And that startled me. I woke up. And then when I became conscious enough, I knew that it's one of those things, manipulative spiritual things that want to happen. And seeing that it is something that I have known for a very long time, I was not even frightened. So from there it would progress. You would feel like it is crawling. It will go to the door. You feel a loud bang on the door. Is this wooden door? To hit the door, go to the window, and then you feel scratches, like something is trying to claw its way up. So it was just happening repeatedly, and I was just like, what is this thing trying to prove? Because I understand all these things. These things will happen, and then to put fear inside of you. The moment you show fear, then that is when the oppressive powers come. These are basically witchcraft on the lowest levels. I will call it the lowest levels, because I have seen more other levels. Like I've heard of different levels. So this thing continued happening, and then at a point I was like, when you don't do finish, you go stop. And then
you go out and fight it?
I can't fight what I cannot see now.
So you think it was like a spirit?
Of course it was a spirit. I was sure, and I'm coming to that. Okay. I mean, this thing went on for about 2 hours. So after I said, when you don't do finish, you go stop. My elder brother now laughed. I thought I was the only one who was awake. Him too, he was awake and hearing it. So we started discussing, like we were talking about random things while this activity was going on.
What time was this?
This thing started around past 4, and as at this time when we started talking, it was around 5 a.m. So we were talking unbothered, because we've had experiences. It was continuously banging. It became louder and more aggressive. I mean, somebody can pin it on rats, but can a rat go up and carry something and hit? It cannot. So this was happening. We were just talking about random stuff. And then at a point, both of us were like, this is not even something we are going to call blood of Jesus or call Jesus' name for. That this is beneath Jesus, that only us, we can deal with this, and we don't even have to start praying or anything. So whatever is doing that thing, it should continue. When it is tired, it will stop. So around 5:30, when we made this proclamation, because me, I was very serious about it. I said I was not going to pray for anything to stop, because I didn't see the point. Say you are hitting the zinc, you are continue. When you are tired, you will stop. The only thing is that me myself, I will not sleep because you are making noise. But for me to be scared because you are doing all those things. So around 15 minutes later, that would be around 5:45. It was almost getting bright. Yes. We started laughing because it was becoming more and more aggressive. Yes, and we started laughing because are you trying to make us scared? We cannot get scared. So we felt a tiny bit of calm for about 30 seconds. And suddenly the wheelbarrow that we normally use to move supplies around, that was inside the room. It was, how we rest wheelbarrows on the wall and all of that. So the wheel started rolling. Now, I know how it is. I know how it is when somebody, like, if I should roll a wheel, I know how it will
fast
move.
to go.
Yes, but this was so fast. And it just, we were the only two people. We were on our backs on the bed. And this wheelbarrow that was at the other side of the room started rolling. We put on flashlights to confirm that it was rolling. And then we looked at ourselves. We started laughing. Like, is this the final thing you can do? And in that moment, while we were laughing, there was this wind that passed us. The wind passed us, and the only thing that we could sense in the air was frustration. And then it blew and then blew through the window, and then we heard footsteps. And
did the window blow open?
No, but we felt the breeze pass. Yeah, the window was shut. It was just, and then we heard footsteps
outside.
Yes, like the back of, and the footsteps just receded, and that was it. And that was the experience. I mean, if it was just me, probably I would say I was imagining things, but we were two, and we were well awake. We were very much awake.
Well, what gave you guys so much confidence?
The confidence I had, okay, I think this will go back to when I was a child. From when I was very little, as an infant, yes. They've told me stories. I grew up hearing stories of my father, because he had all of these experiences. So they were like bedtime stories for us, how during his early days in the village and all of that, you see trees where you hear boiling from trees, and then
you hear what?
Boiling from trees, like somebody is cooking within a tree.
Was this in Bayelsa?
Yes.
Wow.
In Anibeze community in Bayelsa. So you'd hear things like boiling in trees, you'd hear people calling names and all of those things. So he always told us stories like that. So, and he wasn't telling us fantasies.
It was his experience.
Yes, he was telling us his experience. And somebody would say, okay, maybe it's because it's your dad, that's why you believed him. But as at 2006, I had my first experience. We were we were sleeping. I don't know what time of the night it was. Yeah. And suddenly I felt myself awake, but it was more like I was in a trance. And then I looked and I saw the door to the house opened. And then I saw one figure coming in. From what I remember, it should not be more than this, but it had this kind of horns, and the moment I saw it, I was afraid. I was about 10.
10?
Yes. That was my very first experience. I was afraid. Like, I startled. And the moment I startled, I could not speak again. I wanted to scream. My voice was not coming out. I was trying to move, no way, until I started thinking within myself, Jesus, 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 until I could able to voice it. So after voicing it, everybody woke up and was like, what is going on? What is going on? So I told my dad, and he told me that, yes, this is so and so thing. This is probably witchcraft. That this is how they press people. So that was my first experience. And the second one happened about a few months later. And it was almost the same thing. This time I just got a sensation, like it was a shimmering, and the moment I opened my eyes, I could not move.
But you saw a figure?
And this time I did not see a figure, but I just opened my eyes and I could not move, and I felt like there was so much pressure on me. Now I know people call such things, how do they call it? There's
sleep hypnosis.
Yes, sleep paralysis and all of that.
Sleep paralysis, sorry.
Yes. So, but this was not sleep paralysis, because I am aware of everything that is happening, but I just can't do anything about it. And it will look superstitious, because it could still be sleep paralysis. But how do I now explain the fact that months after that, same thing happened, and then it got to a point where I could actually feel the presence of such entities around. Now, a few years later, after about this thing had happened like 4 or 5 times, I got to understand how they come, and then how they set the environment, because the first thing they do is to make you fear, and then that moment where you are scared, that is when they start their oppressive acts. Yes. So this time they were not coming like that again. They will come in dreams, and then probably I will have a dream where somebody is chasing me, and then I'm scared that somebody wants to kill me, and in that moment of panic, I will just open my eyes, and then they start, because now I am yes. So after understanding how they operate, there are times that I would just lie down, probably I would be sleeping, and then I would just get that sensation, probably a dream. I would just open my eyes, and they will start. There's this sleep that I don't. This dizziness. It comes upon me, wanting me to shut my eyes so that I would dream. And the more it comes upon me, I know that this cannot be ordinary. This is them trying to make me sleep so that I can have those dreams. But
does it happen anywhere?
You said?
Does that happen anywhere? Could it be anywhere?
It happens anywhere.
Okay.
It happens anywhere, but it mostly happened around my house.
Your house, yeah.
Yeah. And as at this time, we had moved to 2 different places. So I got to understand that this is how they operate. So whenever I am feeling this dizziness, probably I wake up in the night, and then I'm feeling this intense pressure trying to make me go back to sleep. I'll know that they are here. And of a truth, if I try to get to where my dad is, that is, if I go to the room, I would find my dad praying, because he actually senses them.
He senses them as well.
Yes, he senses them. So it got to a point where I could actually know when they are around. Like when these witches or whatever they are around the house, I would actually get the sensation. And then most times I don't pray. It is when I become very fearful that I pray. But when I'm not fearful, I'll just stay alert. Come and do what you can. Because obviously, if I don't give in to fear, you can't
do anything.
Yes. So this was like those movies we watch, those horror movies. Because me, I love horror movies a lot. I love horror movies, all those Reaper movies and all of that. So most times, when I watch such movies, before I sleep, they would now come through those movies, want to use those ones to juggle my memory and then start on me. But at a point, I understood all of those things. So this was how when that incident happened between me and my brother, we already had all of this experience.
All this experience. That's why you guys are so confident.
Yes, that's why we are so confident. And even as at now, I don't get scared. The thing about spiritual issues is that understand yourself. Understand the power you have, and don't go and attempt something that is bigger than you. When I say attempt something that is bigger than you, let's assume that back in the days there were this African tradition, and then you see people going to burn shrines and all those things. And then I don't know if you heard such stories of people that went and tried some shrines and then got mad or died on the spot. Yes, they obviously went with the name of Jesus, which I believe, yes, but their power does not match the power they went to meet. Now, this spiritual sin, this is what I understand. The way Christians fast, that's the same way witches fast. You are trying to gain power, they are trying to gain power. And there's no law.
Witches fast?
Yes, they do fast. Let me just... Witches do fast, and I've heard stories, and then I've seen instances. There was one time this deliverance was being conducted in my church, and all of a sudden we got to discover that this person, she's a witch because she confessed. Yes, and this person is actually very fervent when you talk of fasting. If they say there's a fast in church, before they will proclaim the fast, this person is already fasting. And it became difficult at a point to determine that this person is like this, because this person's power is different. Why this person is doing this thing with so much intention, we are just fasting because they said we should fast in church, not because we deeply wanted to fast. Yes. So that is how it is. When an herbalist or whatever dips themselves into those their powers, and you claim to be a Christian and you are not a Christian, and you say you are carrying the name of Jesus to go and do something, of course it will hit you back.
Have you ever had like a physical altercation with like a non-human entity?
I can't really say. What I've experienced mostly is voices. Yeah, I've experienced voices, but a physical altercation with.
Tell me about these voices.
Okay. There are this beliefs that sometimes spirits will call out your name, and then if you answer more than 2 times, if you answer like 3 times, of course they would have owned you. Okay, so sometimes I will just go into the woods, because the area where I stayed in Bayelsa is like so I will just go into the woods and just want to chill, because and then I will hear my name. There's nobody there, nobody is calling me, but I will hear my name, and I know that it's not in my head.
You don't think it's the trees? Some people believe the trees can talk.
You can't say the trees can talk. You can say the trees can be possessed and they talk. The trees themselves cannot talk. There are things that we know spiritually that can happen, like people saying that dead people can talk. Me, I will tell you that dead people cannot talk.
They're possessed.
Yes, because this is what happens when somebody has a kind of spirit with them, and then they die. Now that spirit tries to taunt the people who are close to them. Then you will start seeing things like probably routines that this other person was doing. This spirit will want to repeat those routines. Probably if this person like washing dish in the morning, you see this spirit washing dishes.
But and the spirits that possesses people's bodies, where do they come from? Where do you think they come from?
There are spirits that are already in existence. I mean, from the Bible that I know, when there was this war in heaven. I don't know if you are a Christian though, but
what does the Bible say about spirits?
The Bible
about the spirits. No, you're about to explain.
Okay, yes. These spirits were cast down from heaven. I will call them demons.
Demons.
Yes. So they are the ones that actually do all of these things. And they are the ones that do all of these things. They try to torment, possess, and all of that. So they work with people, they possess people, they try to own people, and then probably when these people die, they try to look for a link to affect families and all of that. So that is for those kind of spirits. Then of course there are vengeful spirits. Even those vengeful spirits, I still believe that they are not actual spirits of people. They are demons that are actually in play, trying to do all of those things.
You don't think they are good spirits? Do you think they are good spirits?
My take on this spirit issue is still one of and this is how I see this spirit realm. Every human being has a spirit. Then we have angels and demons, all of them still within the same level of operation. They are all spirits. Now a good person has a good spirit. That is what I think. And then angels, of course, they have, I can't say they have good spirits or bad spirits. They just have spirits that are purposed to do particular tasks. Yes, particular tasks. So good spirits and bad spirits, I can't draw a line between them. People are bad. There's the soul, there's the spirit, and there's the body. The body dies, the spirit is, then the soul is like the entity itself. The spirit is like a form it takes to ensure that it can either be good or bad.
Which one goes to heaven, the soul or the spirit?
We are spirit beings that have souls that live in a body.
So what do you think happens when someone passes?
Okay, when someone passes, obviously the body dies.
Then what happens to the spirit and soul?
The spirit goes for judgment.
And so,
Uh, the soul, the soul doesn't face. The soul is like, okay. This is how I can best position this. We have the soul, that is the entity itself. Then we have the body, which is a representation of sin, because of course this body is a body of sin for the fact that it can die. Then we have the spirit, which is like the part that can really relate with God and the other spirit beings. So whenever there's a soul and then there's a spirit, there's a body. If the body is the one that takes preeminence,
what does that mean?
that means that that person cannot really function spiritually. Now, at the same time, when somebody whose spirit functions well but functions for evil, like witches and wizards.
So if you say someone's spirit functions for evil, is it that they've done evil over time and so they've given into that evil? The evil has consumed them. Is that what that means? Or
Yes.
some people are just born evil?
No, I don't believe anybody is born evil. I don't believe anybody is born evil. That's why we are all born with free will. We are all born with free will. There's a point where somebody gets tied to something, probably because there are instances where they give birth, and then after childbirth, you see some parents go and sacrifice their or go and offer their children to deities.
Yes.
And then those children will not even know that they've been offered up, and they already have a heritage somewhere else. And you see some of them unknowingly just living their lives, and if they are not like called out, if something supernatural does not happen to them, they will never know. So, but they had the choice when they were born, but it was taken from them as they were born. So it's not like they were born without this choice, or there's nobody that exists without a choice to either be good or evil. There's nobody that exists like that. So spirits, yeah, people's spirits can choose to be wicked. Yes, people can choose to be wicked. The soul belongs to God. The soul belongs to God. He is the only one that can destroy the soul and then
punish it.
Yes, is the only one. But the spirit allows us to make decisions. It allows us to hear.
Is that why they say we have like spirit guides? Is that different?
Spirit guides is another topic on its own.
But do you believe in spirit guides as a Christian?
I believe that there are entities all around us. Like people would say that it's just us human beings and then our thoughts are nothing. But me, I believe there are spirits, there are human beings, there are principalities, there are powers, because all of these things are recorded in the Bible or Torah or whatever it is called.
Or what?
Or Torah.
Torah?
Torah is like the first written form of the Bible before it was converted.
Have you read it?
I think it's the Old Testament.
Oh, Old Testament. Okay, Torah is basically the Old Testament.
Yes, okay. Yes. So that's where most religious texts come from. So it is already recorded, and I know of these things' existence. So when you watch movies, sometimes you see things like fairies and mermaids, and because you cannot see them physically, people think they don't exist.
It's a myth.
Yes, but the story behind all of this is that when God cast down those angels,
Angels.
They had those fallen angels, that is the
Fallen
ones
angels,
that
okay.
rebelled. They had to put themselves in some place, one place or the other. And most of them decided to take on these things because it's not only human beings that can get possessed. Animals can get possessed too. Animals, fishes, trees, all of them can get possessed. So the assumption that human beings and then no, me, I don't believe that. I believe that I don't call them spirit guides. I just call them voices that will want you to listen to them. They want you to listen to them most times to lead you to damnation.
You don't think they help?
My own opinion on that is that anything that comes from such spirits, especially let me call them demons, anything that comes from demons always has a price. They don't give you anything for free. There's no deity, there's no demon or that will give you anything for free. And their reward is always what they collect is always more than what they give. So they give you a finger, they take your hand. And we have seen this. We hear stories of people who do sacrifices to get things, and then what they lose. You understand? So that's my take on that. Yeah.
So you don't think these spirit guides can be good? Don't think spirit guides can be good at all?
Okay. For good, I would say it depends on how long, because for me, not just a time frame. I'm putting this in this scenario. There's always something that they will want. They don't just offer up services or free gifts. And I think this is like a natural law. There always has to be balance. There always has to be give and take. If it's just giving, then it becomes imbalance. Like
transactional.
Yes, there's no balance in it. You give and you take. Chinese will call it yin and yang. What goes like this has to flow back for everything to be balanced. Matter is never destroyed and all of those things. So those are related. So me, I don't believe that there's one spirit that want to give you anything without expecting something in return.
But some people see it as your spirit guide being a higher version of you. So they believe in like two realms. There's a higher realm and there's a lower realm. So me, I represent my lower realm self, and my spirit guide or my higher self exists on the higher realm, which is like this higher version of me. So that person, if that other version of me is looking out for me, I don't think it's transactional. It's just purely based on personal interests.
Okay.
Some people would even argue that everyone, apart from like the spirit guide thing, everyone, or the higher self thing, everyone is assigned an angel when they were born. So when you have that type of scenario where something is telling you do this, don't do this, it's not really steering you towards like your own end. It's just guiding you to a good path. I think you can argue that, no?
Okay. On that, let me first talk of the fact that you made that there is a lower realm and then there's a higher realm where there's this part of us trying to. I think that's like making it more ominous, making it seem like we are more than what we are. I have established that we are soul, spirit, and body. Now, within all of this, within our spirit, we have these antennas, and there's always information flying around. By information, I'm talking about there are forces that are always trying to pull you to one side of the divide, either for good, or for evil. And the best way to explain this is the reason why you just see somebody who will be here and will be thinking of just pushing that glass away. Like, where did that thought come from?
Intrusive thoughts.
Of course, something put that thought in your head. And at the same time, you would see something going bad, and then something will tell you to correct it. Now, all of these things, they are just information coming. It's not like somebody is trying to, it's not like there's an higher you trying to listen. Even your conscience itself, your conscience is a way that God actually speaks to you. Is the way that God actually speaks to you. And this is how me myself I see it, and I think I have been in discussions with plenty people of faith, and we have established this. The moment you pay attention to your conscience, you are paying attention to the mind of God, because He created that so that He can be able to communicate with you. So you discover that that's why people say people who do bad things don't have conscience. Because
the conscience can be higher self.
The only self
that's part of like your higher self.
The only self you have is you, soul, spirit, and body. That's you. So every other thing that comes in is information to either destroy you or to save you. That is that's your belief. I don't believe in incarnation. I don't believe that. No, I don't believe all of those things, because that's why the concept of the soul is there. Currently, we have 8 billion people in the world, but over the existence of man, we've had trillions of people. But within this time, no two people have been alike. No two people, as in it has been scientifically proven that no two people can be alike. This tells you that every soul.
Talk about fingerprints.
It's not just about fingerprints. Like,
what do you mean alike?
Alike, genetic makeup. Genetically, no two people can be alike. And then even when you talk about choice pattern, let's talk about their sociological lifestyle, how they process things, how they process the world. No two people can be completely alike. Like, there's always a variation. If it's not in their genes, it's in their, of course it has to be, their genes is always there. But if you don't want to talk about the genes too, you talk about decision making and all of that, because nobody.
That's true, because even twins are different. You can say twins.
Yes.
Identical people that like really.
Yes. So except you want to go into cloning all those parts, but aside that, no two people are identical. And for that reason, I don't believe incarnation, higher self, lower self. The concept of incarnation for me, it still has to do with demonic possession.
Demonic possession?
Exactly.
But I feel like lots of religions believe in reincarnation, and I don't know, it's just, people believe in things, and it's not necessarily, I don't think you can say demonic. Maybe it just doesn't align with your own beliefs.
Yes, I will agree with you on that, because I think I was having a discussion with somebody, and he said I am only able to claim Christianity because I was born in the part of the world where Christianity is Yes, that is true. That is true, but there's always a level where you get to, a level of awareness, because as a child they carry you to church, but as an adult you wake up in the morning, bathe, and go to church. Questions will come into your mind like, why do I even go to church? Where is the God I am worshiping, and all of that? But at the end of the day, you make your resolve and still go to church.
Did you ever ask yourself those questions?
Those questions will always come.
How did you answer it?
I answered it. I have different answers for questions like that because the Bible actually treats things like that. The things that are not revealed to us are not ours to know.
So you just let it go.
Like people will ask like funny questions, like you just ask, so who born God? Like where did God come from? Like people, those kind of things happen, and then the only thing I tell myself is that God did not reveal it. Why should I be bothered? God did not reveal it. There's no need for me to be bothered. The only ones that we can seriously debate about is when they say, oh, the world was not created, it originated from this. Me, I can debate that. But when you say concept of how God came about, me, I believe that this our mortal body, there's a level to which we can experience life. There is a level to how much knowledge we can get, and we are limited by this body. There's a level we'll get to, and then the body will not take it, we'll just die.
You sound like you'd make a good preacher. Do you have any plans to open a church?
Okay, actually, no. And it's not because it will be, let me call it a noble venture, because trying to see people come to Christ, it will be very great gain. But I don't think that we should be opening churches here and there. It just causes division and all of that. And you can already see the level we have gotten to. We have the Anglican, the Catholic, the Protestant, the Pentecostal, everybody. And it's like there's this God, and all of us, we are dragging people. You see this church trying to win this other church member over. Are you doing it for yourself or for God? And then secondly, I believe there's no level that you will get to, and then except God tells you. God has to be the one telling you that do this, and there has to be a reason for it. And if God is not the one telling you to do it, there's no point. Because let me look at it this way. There are different gifts. There's gift of prophecy, healing, and most times God does not place all these things inside one person. That's why you find many ministries with their general overseers as very powerful preachers, but they don't perform miracles. Now, if you check within their ranks, there are people who do all of these things. I could probably be a teacher. That is, if I receive a call, I don't think, even no matter my knowledge, because I will still call this my knowledge just knowledge. Basically. But except God tells me that go on, because then He will be the one directing me. I won't just be preaching because I feel like speaking English or trying to entice people. And then I do get dreams, and most of the dreams come to pass. So though not for serious events, but I can just have a premonition, and I will just be like, this thing happened, where have I seen this before? I will recall, oh, I had a dream about this. Some of them would be so glaring, some would just be relatable, but in the long run I have all of those things, but that doesn't qualify me to call myself a preacher in it. Yeah.
You've heard from the horse's mouth the stories that Richard has shared today. Captivating stories. Thank you so much, Richard, for coming today and sharing the stories. We appreciate your presence. Thank you so much.
Thank you.